everyone, it's Elizabeth from Elpis Astrology at elpisastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. So today I am going to do a small segment out of my original video that I did, which was Jupiter in Taurus. And I'm going to talk specifically about a transit that is Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus today on this video. But please check out my other general video on Jupiter in Taurus. It'll give you a lot more information about the whole time period. I'm just focusing on the day that Jupiter conjuncts Uranus in Taurus. And that is the 20th of April, 2024 at 6:03 p.m., and that's Pacific Daylight Time. It will be at 21 degrees of Taurus and 49 minutes. Now, I looked back around 500 years ago. I went back that far. I'm sure other astrologers may go back even further to see when we had something like this happen. Now, we certainly have had other Jupiter conjuncts Uranus, but we only had two Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus around this degree point of 21 degrees occurred. Now, there were two that occurred, but really only one that occurred around, it was at 25 degrees. And that was in May 1941. I'll talk about that in a minute, but I'm going to now talk about the chart itself on this day when Jupiter conjuncts Uranus in Taurus, and detail what other planets and luminaries and where they are. So the sun will actually be in Taurus too. It'll be at 1 degree. The moon will be at 28 degrees of Virgo. We'll have Venus conjunct in Chiron at 19 and 20 degrees respectively. We do have a Mercury retrograde going on. It will be at 16 Aries, 49 minutes. And it will be conjunct the north nodes, which are also in Aries, at 15 degrees. So that's a pretty close conjunction. Mars will be at 22 degrees of Pisces, and it will be relatively conjunct Neptune, which is at 28. So this is Mars and Neptune in Pisces. And of course, we'll still have Saturn around at 15 Pisces. Pluto will be at 2 degrees of Aquarius, so it'll be well into Aquarius. In fact, the whole month it'll be there. And Venus will be at 19 degrees of Aries. So we can see that we've got a fair amount of Aries going around here as well, which to me says there's probably an importance here of Mars in the mix because Mars rules Aries as well. So when we go back to this whole time period of May 1941, and then of course we can look at, just generally speaking, even the months that followed. And really, there was a lot of things happening in 1941 with regard to the Second World War. A lot of people were killed, in particular, a lot of Jewish people, writers and scientists. They also had England being bombed mercilessly, but then in turn, of course, British troops were doing the same as well. This was the year, 1941, when Pearl Harbor was also bombed in December 1941. And of course, that really started the whole joining the war of the US of A. So I'll leave it at that. When we look at the other time period, which was at 29 degrees of Taurus, it was May 23rd, 1858. I think some of the things that I felt would be sort of highlighted at this conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus, when we look at Jupiter, we know that Jupiter rules Sagittarius. It rules the 9th house. And what is the 9th house? A lot of times we refer to the 9th house as the house of travel. It's the house of the expanding mind. It's what means something to me. But it's also foreign things, foreign people, foreign places, and of course then travel in a foreign land. And of course, we're talking about Uranus. Uranus really rules outer space. It refers to science or scientists. It also speaks to unexpected things, unexpected events. And so when I saw these both going together, I thought that maybe there's going to be some major forward movement with regards to space, that's Uranus, and Jupiter, which represents travel. So I put the two together and said, space travel may be really at the forefront at this time. And of course, we're talking kind of April time period, but I would take it probably even on in a few months, so April and May of 2024. The other thing I thought this might have to do with, because of course there's shakeups and unexpected things with Uranus and Jupiter representing foreign nations, foreign things, I thought this might be tied in with a migrant crisis. Now, we're already having these migrant crises happening on an ongoing basis. I'm making this in August 2023, but there may be some major thing that happens at this point. Let's hope there's some major thing associated with maybe new laws to help protect people, because Jupiter can also rule laws as well. And of course, if we look at just the base of Taurus, we're talking about land, right? We're talking about the food we grow on the land, that type of thing. So there can also be big changes with regards to foods, that some kind of increase of changes in that respect too. Hopefully these increases are for the better. And I saw this whole Venus conjunct Chiron in Aries as a real healing. This is a major healing to help us move forward independently. And I think this might be tied in with this whole migrant crisis that we've had going on, that there's maybe more benefits that can come in here to help heal some of these people that are having such difficult times in their own countries. But this whole Mercury retrograde, also in Aries, conjunct the North nodes, says to me that there needs to be reconsideration, that's a retrograde, right, with regards to our destiny path. And again, I think this is tied in with, actually, I think I'll broaden it even, certainly tied in with the migrant crises that we have going on, but also it could be tied in with any kind of association with travel itself. And laws could be thrown in here too, because of course, Jupiter rules laws as well, and higher education. So all these areas could be up for some kind of reconsideration and review. And the retrograde is going to cause that type of activity with regards to those areas of life. And then, of course, when Mercury will go forward again, there's going to be this rush of new paths opened up. We look at Aries. Aries is the very first sign of the zodiac. So this is actually independence and moving forward. Now, just prior to this conjunction, that moon that will be in Virgo will be trine that Jupiter and Uranus. So that's going to be interesting too. That says to me that rules and regulations of some sort will be brought in, and then maybe on that day of the 20th of April, they're announced. And this is something that's coming from, people who make the rules, people who make the regulations. And there may be some surprises. And as I said, these surprises may be associated with travel, foreign places, foreign people, higher education, the law itself. I think the thing that I really got struck by with this Jupiter conjunct Uranus was the fact that it really is going to have this energy of saying, I want to break free and really want to take maybe some risks. Jupiter as an influence will expand anything it touches. So it's going to be expanding the rather unexpected, sometimes explosive energy of Uranus. And so this is going to have some people say that if you've got something around this degree, and you really do have to have something important around this degree, and it does have to be pretty close to it to have the real effects of it. But it could be having a lot of people saying, I want to break free of this whole situation that I'm in. I want to get out of it. And they're going to want to take risks. So now I'm making this way in advance of this transit happening. So maybe start considering potential ways for those folks that do want to break free to spend some time now to figure out how you can do that systematically, maybe between now and April 2024, so that when you pull the trigger or make that decision to break free of something, it's more easily met with, and the opposition isn't there. I felt also the other image that came to my mind was the effect of jumper cables, right? When you take those jumper cables and then put them on the battery so that the electricity or current flows, it also can do that. So I thought from a positive standpoint, this could usher in some really literally electrical energy that gets things moving, that have to move forward. So look to the house that this Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus occurs in. And what I'm going to do is I will cover, of course, the signs and the ascendants next. Like I said, I think this whole Mercury retrograde conjunct the North nodes is really planning and thinking of blazing a new destiny path. And I think that opportunity to do that is going to be provided by this Jupiter conjunct Uranus towards the end of April 2024. Certainly an opportunity will be provided. And like I said, if this does aspect something directly in your chart, you may not hesitate or have any doubts at this time. Now, we will have Mars that will be in Pisces as well as Neptune. And of course, we also have Saturn there too. So the thing is about this setup, especially with the Mars and Neptune in Pisces, certainly this can increase a desire and energy to do with spiritual type things, great compassion. But it's also got another side. And deception or something akin to deception can be activated. It may also be accompanied by sort of peculiar or irritating feelings. Now I'm talking about the Mars action on Neptune, both in Pisces. So there may be some kind of irrational feelings if you've got, say, this Mars and Neptune connection happening in your chart as well. So we're looking at 22 to 28 degrees of Pisces for that particular energy, right? But I think that this whole setup here also will provide an opportunity to break free as well, because the Mars, especially the Mars action, is in a compatible sign with Taurus, right? It forms sextiles. So it seems to me, like I said, it could be a combination of things where some opportunity is provided through great compassion, through spirituality, but just as possibility is, of course, this deception and feeling irritated feelings, that this may also somehow provide an opportunity for this breaking free of the Jupiter conjuncting Uranus. Now, the thing about Venus at 19 degrees of Aries, it will be separating from Mercury at this time. And so I saw this also, if there is anything to do with, say, diplomatic relations, etc. Diplomacy might be weakened at this point. All right. Hopefully that gives you a little picture or window. So Capricorn, you've got a beautiful setup here. Just this standalone Jupiter conjunct Uranus will trine you, and it's going to be involving the fifth house. I love the fifth house. So the fifth house is children. So maybe there's an unexpected pregnancy. Maybe you've been trying and things haven't worked, and all of a sudden, wow, you find out you're pregnant. But this is favorable energy, remember, right? This trine. Creative projects. A creative project comes your way totally out of the blue. That makes you smile. You start your own business at this time. Now, there is a Mercury retrograde going on, but this is big energy you've got, this Jupiter and Uranus, right? What else? The fifth house is also love, true love. So for some Capricorns, true love might come your way, totally unexpected, out of the blue. And with Jupiter involved here, it could be with a foreign connection of some sort, right? So super for you, Capricorn. But again, it has to be something around the 21, 22 degree mark in your own chart, right? Now, when we look at that Mercury retrograde conjunct the North nodes in Aries, we're looking here at a square, and it is in your fourth house. So this is really saying to me that maybe you want to buy a house, maybe you want to sell a house, maybe you want to get out of your family home and have your own place. And there's just some reconsiderations that you have to take into account with regards to the square. So it means you have to work at it. It's not all straightforward, but doesn't mean it can't happen. Especially once Mercury maybe goes direct, things will ease up a bit for you with regards to anything to do with the fourth house. That's your family. That's your mother. It's your habits. It's your home. It's your childhood home. All those things could be up for some kind of challenges here where you've got to reconsider things, maybe work more in tandem with other people. And maybe it's not all so straightforward. There has to be a lot of give and take. Now, nicely, you are going to have that Mars and Neptune that is in Pisces sextile your sign. And so this is involving your third house. And I would say that this really supports if you're doing anything with regards to charities, with regards to compassionate projects, compassionate writing about this type of thing, or communicating about this, or maybe in your job having to do this, this is going to provide you some fabulous opportunities here to do that. Third house is basically communications. It is also short distance travels as well. So you may be given the opportunities here to do some of that, especially if it's associated with something like a compassionate project, charities, that type of thing, right? Yeah. It also could provide you an opportunity because it's a sextile. Maybe there was some confusion of some sort, like the effect, just the basic effect of Mars on top of Neptune. Maybe there was some confusion with regards to something written or something discussed or a message, blah, blah, blah. And this gives you the opportunity to maybe clear that up because it's a sextile, right? Well, enjoy that trine of Jupiter and Uranus to your fifth house, dear Capricorn. Bye for now. All right, folks, that kind of wraps this up. I hope this has given you a little bit more insight to this specific transit of Jupiter conjunct Uranus and then the influence of a few other things going on at the same time. I wish you the best of luck. As always, I love to hear what's happening to folks. So I guess April, May time period, I'll have some, I'm sure, interesting comments from various viewers as well as my clients. All right, folks, take care of yourself. I'm wishing you all the best with regards to, what I'm hoping is unexpected benefits, unexpected beneficial teachers or advisors coming in that will really give something that is a benefit and that is good for us, that is nice for us, and that's very sweet. All right. Take care of yourself, everybody. Bye for now.